Alright guys, HyDra back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Dashy has tipped either Scump or Karma to potentially make an MJ-style return out of retirement into the CDL in the near future after Scump continues to absolutely fire Modern Warfare 3 and seemingly enjoy the game as well. If OpTic were to struggle this year, is there a possibility that Scump says, you know what, I'll come through to save the day? Very much enjoyed to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. Firstly, an update on that kind of pro loot drama that we talked about yesterday. They've all resolved it now, so that's good stuff. As Core says, anyone attacking pro loot, everything's cleared up. He paid, everything's fine. So yeah, all good. Glad this one was resolved and we can move on from this stuff. Unfortunately, these things happen every, from time to time. It's how it goes. But that's part and parcel of when things are on the line for money, to be fair. There was also this I spotted here from Seattle Surge where, well, they're pretty much saying they're going to announce their team soon. We know what it's going to be. It's going to be Illy, Arcetes, who can aBeZy unless something has dramatically changed. They also haven't confirmed Rambo as the coach yet, although that will, I imagine, be the case. So, yeah, not convinced about this roster yet. Maybe when they announce, they'll address some of the concerns that some of the fans of that team might potentially have. But, yeah, they're getting ready to announce, I imagine, very shortly indeed. A major update I've got to say yesterday from Sledgehammer Games, and this is why there's a lot of optimism around this title. Yes, there are some problems in the game. It's in a beta stage, and we know that realistically, the beta is just a playtest. It's just a preview. The game never changes dramatically, but still there are some serious things that they can address, they need to address, and they actually are going to address. Can you believe it? This is the benefit of when Infinity Ward aren't developing the game, is that you actually get reasonable developer feedback here, and Sledgehammer have done it again, as they said yesterday, with the highly anticipated return of High Rise, etc, more throughout the second weekend of the beta. But until then, the issues that people had, these are the three primary issues. There was talk about slide timing and some inconsistencies there. Visibility was a big one as well that people were talking about. So they are trying to address concerns, including but not limited to these three. Operator visibility, the slide thing, and then spawn selection. That's been the big talking point of the last couple of days here, with a lot of the pros saying that it doesn't seem like there's really any spawn system. I saw you guys saying in the comments that it's almost like a revenge spawn system, it feels like at times, where basically if you've killed someone, they spawn on you, and if you've died, you spawn on them. It's kind of how it used to work in free-for-all back in the day, when revenge spawns were definitely a thing. So yeah, maybe that's part of it, but people haven't really got their head around exactly how this works yet. So I just thought the comparison was so stark compared to what happened after last year's beta with MW2, what Infinity Ward said. And, okay, I appreciate this isn't fully on screen, but we have legendary quotes such as, "We don't want to punish players for firing their weapons." Effectively, all of these responses that Infinity Ward gave last year to the criticism amounted to, F you guys, we know better than you. And that was pretty much their assessment. They were talking about dead silence, the perk system, all the criticisms people had, and they basically said, nah boys, we ain't changing anything. You guys even remember as well, there was talk about, oh well, maybe the visibility wasn't great, let's put the nameplates back on. And they said, yeah, actually we probably should address the visibility, but we're not doing nameplates because we've decided not to do that. So unlucky guys, you're just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. And yeah, actually Charlie Intel did tweet that one out as well. So it's definitely pretty, the contrast is quite evident really between the way that Infinity Ward reacted to criticism last year and what Sledgehammer are presently doing, which makes me confident that in the next month, I suppose, before release, they will address some issues. The game should be in a good spot, and especially by the time that competitive play for the CDL really starts up, the game probably will be in a reasonably decent position. And as Doug says, I feel like every year I play an Infinite Warfare title, I have an issue with someone from the company. It's funny how it stems from top to bottom. Never had problems with Sledgehammer or Treyarch, only incredible relationships spanning over a decade. So, interesting observation, definitely. There's also this that's been noted in the game, which, well, the flash grenades apparently work now like Counter-Strike or Valorant, where if you're looking at it, you get hit by it, probably for a more severe length of time than you would otherwise, but if you're looking away, then it doesn't affect you. So this has always been an interesting part of COD, where if you got hit by a flashbang, even if you weren't looking at it, you still got blind. Now, for the competitive side, flashes, stuns, okay, stuns, yes, but flashes haven't really been used. They're generally considered to be GA'd by the pros, even if they're technically allowed in the rules over the last few years. So I don't think this is going to be massively relevant, but still, it's an interesting feature, the idea that if there's a flash coming in, you can actually look away from it and look back. On PC, on mouse and keyboards, this is more achievable because you see a flashbang. You can just slap the mouse over to the right or to the left or whatever and then back again immediately. So you can quickly look away and then come back. On controller, like, you know, it's not so, the joystick isn't so responsive. You know, the thumbstick, you look right, it takes you a bit of time. So I don't exactly know how... I'm not sure this is quite going to operate in the same way that it works in CS, where you can see a flash, look away from it very quickly, then look back. It's probably not going to be quite as good, but it's nonetheless an interesting idea. This also from Sib, there's a tournament they're doing briefly with HyDra and Sib, actually a meet and greet, October the 14th, Warzone Gauntlet, 30k thing at, well, in Brooklyn, the Brookland, they're calling it. Just wondered as a result of this, what is the plan for next season's event calendar? Because there was meant to be a Subliners event, a New York event this past season. They had one at the King's Theatre back in Vanguard, of course, that Los Angeles Thieves one, and we'll talk about them later today, and of course the Subliners as well, we'll talk about them because some interesting storylines developing there. They made the finals of that event, and last year they were meant to be doing another one, but it never happened. Various reasons, sponsors pulled out, or they couldn't do a challengers side, something like that anyway. They couldn't do one. I wonder whether New York want to be back on the calendar for this season if they can be, or whether the interest is really there anymore to invest in these events, because, you know, at best, you're going to break even from these events, really, which is a good result if you can break even from these events, but they're not exactly cheap to put on. So as we dive into this Scump and Karma stuff, I thought it was pretty cool that Halo actually, just before going into the Halo World Championship, have done like a feature episode on Formal and his career, sat down with Maniac, sat down with Scump and other guys, just to talk about Formal as a player and his career, what he's done in Halo from way back in the day and in Call of Duty, sat down with Hitch. Seems like it's really well done, and it's live this Thursday. Formal's very much looking forward to it. But also, we've had a lot of the guys play the beta. Rust was now coming out, and they played the OpTic Hangout the other day, where Dashy and Methods and Karma and Scump and all these guys got on, played a bit of the game, and it was a fun time. Especially the kind of relaxed commentary side of things, while Scump and others were absolutely cooking in the game, and Pro was sending some nice shots here as well on stream in his own right. But Dashy was talking about a lot of the players, especially Karma, but then he talked about Scump as well, and for good reason, that are typically really good at the start of titles. Karma is definitely in this category, where for some reason, when a game has just come out, Karma's always unbelievable. Doesn't matter, as he says, whether it's Black Ops 4 way back in the day, or whether it's Black Ops Cold War. I think especially, I remember when that game came out, Karma was the #1 go-to guy pick in these early tournaments. And yeah, and then when the game actually gets serious, scrims start up, Karma was, you know, at least in his later years, not so committed to putting the time in. And then even in the modern games, then it's when the pros actually catch up and overtake, you know, Karma, who's now retired. But still, Karma would be really good if he tried. Scump would definitely, especially at this game, be really good if he actually wanted to compete. And I'm sure there's part of Scump that thinks, damn, I am cooking on this game. And it would be... well, interesting to see if Scump was competing, and that has raised the question of Dashy. Well, what if that's a possibility? What about some sort of Michael Jordan-esque return when Scump calls it a day, Karma calls it a day, and then at some point returns to competition? Would there be an opportunity open here?
Where the hell is Hector?
We got
man?
Damon
That's
shooting
the man
too.
right there. What's up?
Damon was popping off.
Yeah, let's actually get back to COD. You know what?
Damon was popping off with the Black Ops 2 throwback.
Actually not.
I don't think people realize
It's not a respectable.
if Damon didn't mind scrimming, he could still be out there easily.
I'm not even just saying this just to say this, but Damon is legit the best player in every single COD that comes out, even once he's retired in the first 2 weeks. It's not even
Oh, you
close.
like beginning of games?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
he's always been a good launch player.
Same thing in the BO4. I remember no one knew how to use grapple in BO4. It's like a foreign thing. If people were watching Damon, that guy looked like Spider-Man, bro. And then towards the end of the year, that's when you saw like
He just doesn't want to scrim, man.
the Jurds and like the BZ started getting like the hang of it. It's gotta be, because everyone's got like their.
Look at his
normal-
attachments, bro. That thing is juiced.
You can tell by the way he's moving, the way he's centering.
Oh yeah.
My guy's got some hours on this, man.
Dude, these
Chat,
are
what do you guys
the
think?
worst
It's like
moments
Dang.
of my life.
he might make like
Be
a
an asshole.
Michael Jordan.
Oh, she
type of
loved baby
return,
leg.
You know,
What does
is
that
it
mean?
possible?
I'm gonna start playing
MJ
on
type of
OpTic
return,
content too.
retire, come back, play for another season.
Definitely.
What?
Is it? You
Every
might do it
day,
too.
OpTic
What?
content too.
I know how you are the first 2 weeks of games. Wait a second, 95. Wait a second, he's only
Wait.
5 off here. Wait, is Seth actually gonna
Wait,
do
he
this? Don't get
gets
on
it.
B. Don't get B. Don't get B. But wait, we can't
No,
lose
he
the game.
gets
We
it. He
can't. We
gets
can't
it.
let him get A either, though.
There,
Wait, we gotta get a flag now. We gotta get B.
97,
Someone get on B.
97, 98.
Wait, somebody got it. Like, okay, Seth's got this in the bag. He's got this in the bag.
Oh,
No, he's got it. He's got it. It's like he's getting the perfect amount of extra time too from like them getting a flag.
99.
Oh, this is
One
for the
more.
chip. For the chip.
1 kill.
Just run at him.
100.
Run. Bloodthirsty. Just like
Bloodthirsty.
that.
What's that, 10 or 15?
Look how he's moving, too. Oh, my God.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Oh, he's sliding into that.
Damn. Oh, my God. We can't
Oh, my
lose
God,
now.
we're going to lose, though.
He's going to ice up, bro. This is what he does.
We got
bro.
bombs.
It's the cherry
We
on
got
top.
streaks.
What is that? What is that, Wally?
Oh, no.
Oh, wait a second. What's happening, boys? Okay, says icing up at 8. That's a big piece. That's a big 3. That's a big 3. Okay.
Oh, my God. They're lobbing nades on him.
One on T. One on T. Oh, my God. Says
Nice.
actually icing up. He just went massive for the chip. That's it. That's Jeej.
GG.
That's Jeej.
GG.
Oh, my God. That was actually difficult. That was a respectable performance. That's an icy performance. That's an icy performance right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's an icy performance right there if I've ever seen one. 106 kills. Listen, the man doubled down. He said he was dropping 100. He dropped 106. That's impressive. Not gonna lie.
Dude, look at Draco.
So yeah, Scump dropped 106 there for the W, the 3-piece as well to capture that flag at the end to win this domination on Ross, 200 to 199. Bit of a comeback as well. You know, it's moments like that that'll make Scump think, damn, like, I've still got it, you know. Like, I was pretty icy. And look, is Dashy wrong about what Scump could still do if he was playing the game? No. We know how much gas Scump gets from all the players. And even this season, when I think he was really good at Modern Warfare 2. I mean, he had a pretty good KD and stuff for the first part of the season, the very brief part of the season that he played, despite the poor results that OpTic, he decided to call it a day. Totally get it. But at the end of the day, you've got to wonder, what would it take for Scump to make a return? Because if he is ever going to come back, and as I say, we've seen it with players in plenty of other sports, they've retired and they've decided, actually, you know what, let me just come back one more time. We've seen it with COD players as well, the amount of times that, well, okay, Parasite or Center, these guys over the last few years have retired and then they at least come out of retirement to some degree. It doesn't really happen on an incredibly high-profile level, apart from in a way formal in some sense. The fact that he retired, he probably thought that he was done with competition, and then actually he's returned to Halo and is having great success over there over the last couple of seasons. And there's so many sports where there's examples of this, of players that just, you know, can't step away for too long and they want to come back. Difficulty is that, let's say you're a Formula 1 driver or you're a golfer. If you retire and then return, it's kind of no big deal. There's plenty of teams that you can find a spot on, or obviously in golf it's just kind of solo, so you can just come back onto the tour. Whereas if you're a Scump, then there's only really one team you can play for. You're not going to leave OpTic to play for another team. If Scump is going to play again, or if Karma is going to play again, really, it's going to be on the OpTic team. Now, of course, Karma's the coach, and I don't expect Karma to ever return to competition. He doesn't seem committed enough, but I think Scump could be if the stars aligned in the right way and he really enjoyed his time on the title. So, yeah, as this is the issue with Scump. If he is going to come back, there is only one spot, and that's on OpTic, probably in that like flex-ish role. I don't know what you guys think, but we know that it was a possibility even in the off-season that Scump was considering taking up the flex role over Drazah, and then eventually it was Kenny that got that spot instead. So if OpTic have a hard time this year, and they really shouldn't have a hard time this year, like on paper, their team is so good. But if things somehow don't go particularly well and Scump just really feels like he's about it and he's talking, obviously he's with the guys a lot of the time, he's going to be on podcast with the guys, he's going to be talking to the guys, maybe there's a chance that Scump comes back. I really don't expect that to happen this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, next year, if OpTic actually have a bad year this year somehow, or, like, at least compared to expectations, and they're going to make another change, that'd be very controversial, whatever happens. But, you know, I wouldn't be entirely shocked if Scump kind of returns next season. But also you got to think, like, even if OpTic this year do well, and Scump actually says to Hex, you know what, I'm really feeling this, like, get me back in there, the Trek game is going to come different or whatever, then they will find a spot for Scump, you know. It doesn't matter if you've won every event in Champs. If Scump wants to come back, I know that in that circumstance he probably wouldn't want to break up the team, but you know what I mean. Like, Hex will find that opportunity for Scump if Scump wants that opportunity. So very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.